I thought I would read this next poem in recognition that this is the week of Passover, which celebrates the liberation of the Hebrews who were to become the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt, in Mitzrayim, the narrow place from which they came forth. And what they came forth into, of course, was the Sinai desert. And it was in the desert where the Hebrews became Jews, where Moses received the Torah. And this is a poem called The Desert as Garden of Paradise. And it's not only about that desert. It begins, in fact, in the desert in the Joshua Tree National Monument in the desert, the Mojave Desert in California, and it moves around to many other deserts, including the North African desert and the movements of the Crusaders, and the movements of the Spanish missionaries into Mexico and into what is now California. The desert as garden of paradise. Guard the knowledge from the knowledgeable, those who gobble, make it unpalatable. Stars in this place might look distant to me as you, to you as me. Monotheism, where it began, but all the spirits too. Desert says what you believe I can prove. I, amaranth flower. I, metamorphic rock. I, burrow. I, water drop in tilted catchment. I, vulture. I, driest thorn. Rocks in a trance, escaped from the arms of other rocks. Roads leading to gold and to false gold. This next section speaks to the great Mexican popular singer Chavela Vargas. I ask you to sing, Chavela, in the desert, on tapes pirated from smuggled LPs. I bring you here with me. I ask you to sing. It's not for me, your snarling contralto caught on a backdrop of bitter guitar. Not for me, yet I pray, let me listen. I don't pray often, never to male or female. Sometimes to music, or the flask of sunset, quick winter evenings draining into the ground. Our blood is mixed in, borderland magenta and vermilion, never to become one, yet what we're singing, dying in, that color, two-worlded, never one, where from bars lit by candle and earthquake, your music finds me, whom it didn't look for. This is why I ask you, when the singing escapes the listener and goes from the throat to where the mountains hang in chains as if they never listened, why the song wants so much to go where no song has ever gone. In this pale, clear light, where all mistakes are bathed, this afterglow of westernness, I write to you, head wrapped in your dark red scarf, framed by the sharp spines of the cholla you love, the cruel blonde spirit of the Mojave blossoming in the spring twilights of much earlier ages. Off at this distance, I'm safe to conjure the danger you undergo daily, chin out thrust, eyelid lowered against the storm, that takes in an inkling whole ranches down, with the women, the men, and the children, the horses and cattle, that much, flash flood, lightning, all that had been done right, gone to hell, all crimes washed down the gulch of independence, lost horse trail. Well, this was your country, Malinche, and is where you choose to speak. Every drought-resistant plant has its own story. Each had to learn to live with less and less water. Each would have loved to laze in long, soft rains, in the quiet drip after the thunderstorm. Each could do without deprivation. But where drought is the epic, then there must be some who persist, not by species betrayal, but by changing themselves minutely, by a constant study of the price of continuity, a steady bargain with the way things are. Then there were those, white-skinned, riding on camels, fast under scorching skies, their lives a tome of meaning, holding all this in fief, star-dragged heavens, embroidered saddlebags, coffee boiled up in slim urns, the salt, the oil, the roads linking Europe with Asia, crusaders, legionnaires, desert rats of empire, sucking the kids' bones, drunk with meaning, fucking the Arab, killing the Jew. Deutsches Blut, that means German blood. Deutsches Blut, Ahmad the Arab tells Arnold the Jew, tapping the blue veins of his own brown wrist in his own walled garden, spread with figured carpets, summer, starlight, 1925. Was it the Crusader line? Did they think it made them brothers? Arnold the Jew, my father, told me the story, showed me his photograph of Ahmad, Deutsches Blut. Then there were those black-robed on horseback, tracing the great plateaus, cut by arroyos, cleft by ravines, facing Sierra San Pedro San Martir, a fixed bar, welding Baja California to the mainland north. A land the most unfortunate, ungrateful, and miserable of this world, Padre Miguel Venegas wrote, yet they ordered the missions raised from fragile ramadas, the thin stream drawn from the watering hole into gardens of fig, palm, sugarcane, tried to will what cannot be willed, killed many in the trying, unpacked smallpox, measles, typhus from the chests with the linens and chalices, packed the sufferers in plague-ridden rooms, baptized in one village walk all the children who then died. San Ignacio, Soledad. There were those, convinced the material was base, the humanity less. Out of what can I bring forth a Christian soul? For these, naked and dark, I come to do the work of cross and crown, winning hearts and minds, peeling the prickly pear and dousing it in wine. What would it mean to think you are part of a generation that simply must pass on? What would it mean to live in the desert, try to live a human life, something to hand on to the children, to take up to the land? What would it mean to think you were born in chains and only time, nothing you can do, could redeem the slavery you were born into? Out of a knot of dead wood, on ghostly gray-green stems, the the night-blooming Sirius opens. On a still night under Ursa Major, the tallest saguaro cracks with cold. The eaters of herbs are eaten. The carnivores' bones fall down, and scavengers pick them clean. This is not for us, or if it is, with whom and where is the covenant? When it all stands clear, you come to love the place you are, the bundle of bare sticks soaked with rosin, always and never a bush on fire. The blue sky, without tale or text and without meaning, the great swing of the horizontal circle. Miriam, Aaron, Moses are somewhere else, marching. You learn to live without prophets, without legends, to live just where you are. Your burning bush, your seven-branched candlestick, the ocotillo in bloom. What sacred is nameless, moves in the eye flash, holds still in the circle of the great arid basin, once watered and fertile, probes outward through twig bark, a green ghost inhabiting, dormant stick, abstract thorn. What sacred is singular, out of this dry fork, this wreck of perspective, what sacred tries itself one more time.